To whom it may concern, welcome to the second. Yes, second. You thought I was going to start over. No, to the second episode, to my second take, call it whatever you want, second meeting to Common Sense, my new personal project. We talked about it last week, and since last week, a lot of things has changed. First of all, I think the camera, I got a better angle, I got a tripod, I put it on the phone. I'm still using the same phone I've been using. And the second thing is the audio. I heard back to the episode, I heard back to my recording, and I clearly saw the sound was a bit too harsh on the S's, which I pronounce quite a lot, as you may notice. So this time I adjusted a bit the equalizer on my microphone on my headset, and then I also put it here. This is not a professional platform, podcast, or anything at all. So I have to be doing this a bit more rudimentary. I have my notes on my screen. This second episode, there is no clear guideline. There's a few topics I want to talk. One of them was seeing how it could be improved, the quality, my way of talking, the tripod and the microphone. So for this episode, there is no weekly recap because this is not Monday. On Monday, we'll do it again, and I'll try to have a weekly recap. So my weekly recaps are not something that is gonna be coming off from time to time. I want to upload one a week, so we'll see how it goes. But I'll try to tell my week, narrate it, and then I can use it as a diary as well, as I mentioned. So last episode we talked about why I started, failing, lack of skills, trying, etc., and how it allowed me to be here. And this week I want to keep talking about a bit about things I've learned and perspectives. I have two things that caught my attention during this week that I saved, and I want to just talk over them and using them as guidelines for topics or ideas when we can actually, from which we can, I don't know, get this going, or call it whatever. I'm still adjusting my way of talking, speed, etc. But this is a trial and error process, and we will be better since we will be getting better at this over the episodes that we will be launching. This is important, I've also launched, and I'm gonna make it now, shorts from each of the episodes. I will be doing shorts for different platforms. I'm gonna do them on a real different way because I think my content is not something spectacular where we can just take different parts of it and put it them. So I highly recommend you to follow or see any of those shorts. There will be some funny comments, and I will be trying to improve them and get them different to what people do. I haven't seen anything like that. Probably the people doing it already, but I think I've taken an interesting way of seeing those shorts and making my way of speaking funny for people and a bit more entertaining, which at the end is what we really want to achieve with this. Teaching, well, not teaching because I'm no one to be acknowledged for anything or a person that you should listen to learn, but yeah, have a second opinion. My voice is like a second opinion for many people, or that's what I try to achieve. So entertainment and having a second opinion in your life or hearing multiple thoughts, it's, I would say, the main goal of this. I really hate the cable, the headset, and I really hate having a camera here and my laptop here where I'm seeing myself. So this is a lot of getting used to. I could do like Casey Neistat. I think I have some glasses over there and put sunglasses. But for today, I think we're not gonna do that as I'm using this light a bit more adjusted there. Pretty much it. I think I put a picture there, some candles over there, but that's just for the guys watching the video, if by any means there is someone there. Okay, let me check where I'm gonna start my episode with. Well, we talk about those things, and we're gonna go right into the topic which I brought for today. This is already something that I've discussed with people, or I thought about it because it directly affects me or has affected me recently. And this is my education and the education system that I've been following over the years I've been studying. Not like I stopped studying long ago. I'm still studying, in fact. So education system, why is it so bad? Or in my case, for me, it's horrible here in Spain. Let me give you the 3 main points of how the education system is super bad. First of all, it's a mandatory education system until you are 16. From there, you can stop studying. Highly problematic. Second of all, you are literally guided and put into different areas, like if you were a sheep. They classify you and they tell you if you're good or not good enough for different branches of the education system. And third of all, most important, it takes forever to be someone with a minimum degree in any studies and having experience at all. Let's get these 3 main points a bit more explained in depth. The first one is the regulation. In Spain, it's mandatory to study until you are 16. That's like the bare minimum they require you. Doing this, it's literally nonsense, because to that point, what you've learned is comparable to anything in life. And by that, I mean, it's not the age the problem. The age is not the problem here. You can literally stop at 18, 16, 15. Doesn't really matter on that range. But the problem is what you've learned so far. So what happens is many people who don't like this educational system, or they're not meant to study yet, found them in a situation where they have literally nothing. The opportunities they have are comparable to zero, and they haven't gained any skill, because what you've been taught or what the system is built for is to keep studying until the end. The system is not built to stop at 16, then 18, then when you finish the university or whatever other educational form you've taken. The system is meant to keep studying until literally there is no more study. And even then, you can keep studying. This is the PhD and furthermore. So you force children into stopping or keeping, and then some of them want to stop at 16, which makes sense, and it would be fair for them to give the opportunity, which is what we've done. We gave those children the opportunity to live at 16. But what's next? They have nothing. Where are they gonna go? It's not an age that they can work. Working at that age is complicated. You need parents' permission, etc., etc., etc. But even more, they don't know how to do anything. They're gonna have to keep studying. So what if someone has a decent enough idea of having at least one subject, one course that you can study from a reasonable early age that carries on to 16? And by 16 or by whatever time you decide to, they are capable of doing something. And by that activity, it could be playing a sport on an amateur way, it could be cooking, it could be baking, it could be literally understanding the tax system. That's a bit complicated. But my point is, teach them something. Teach them organization, teach them control, teach them any basic skill that once you are working out there, you are going to need to have. So this is one of the first points. But all of those people who fail don't know anything, stays for 2-3 years, sadly wandering around, and by the time they want to go back to it, they need to start over. In my opinion, if you're going to make someone stop at 16, at least give them something by that time. Because if you are forcing them to study and they get 0 out of that, what are we expecting those guys, those people, those girls and boys to do in the following years? Nothing. Which is my first point. And we can be here debating and talking a lot more, but I really wish we thought in a more logical way to make sure we are just not facilitating the life of teachers who don't want to get the extra work on more complicated students, rather than sticking to those who are really capable of studying and really smart, because their life would be easier. Second of all, which one the second point? I forget about it. I have forgotten about it. I know it's taking too long. It's no experience. Oh yeah. Second topic, point, call it whatever. Classification. Why does the human being love putting attributes, names, and tags to everything in life? And yeah, we can literally translate this to any topic, any field. But what's touching us right now is the education system. We love to classify people, and not in a good way as well. Technically, when you put an attribute, it's either beneficial or not at all. Classification. Classifying students by how good they are. If you're smart and you get good grades, you're a science guy. If you're really bad, you are not eligible to keep studying. You're out of the system. If somehow you're in the middle, then we have a problem, because the middle guys never get too much out of it. So you either go to philosophy or things like that, where you take no effort, or you are like, whatever, and you go to economical sciences. In this classification, only one group is the good one, the science guys, because of culture, because of education, or because of grades. They focus on the good guys of science. So any guy who's not on this good grade classification that we put the attributes wants to jump into this one, they are looked as strangers. People refuse to accept them into there. You're gonna fail, you're gonna hate it, you're not good enough, move on, but not here. It's a problem. Allow people, like not force them. Of course, in Spain, no one, this is a democracy. If you want, you can go. But the way they told you to do it, the way they convince your parents or yourself, it's really, really bad in a way. But what happens if it's the other way around? If the good guy technically want to jump into the other classification, you look like you're crazy, that you lost your mind, because you are good, way better than these guys. You cannot be with them. You see my point? From super early, we are forcing people to choose a path. We are giving them guideline upon a bullshit system, and from there, they are literally separated. And that's what happened when an engineer or a medical guy jokes on the guy from science, economical science, or the guy from philosophy, because it's like they have no effort, they put no effort. Their life has been easier because you're the smart guy. That's a real issue, classification. Because if you classify and we force them to study something that never ends, let's keep the track. We force people to study forever. You never see the end goal. You never understand it. You don't know what's going to happen. We are classifying you like ships. And you don't like it. And you know that if you quit or you don't study, what's out there is even worse, because no one accepts you. Can you see it? Like, this is literally, from a common sense perspective, it makes no sense to me or anyone. Because this guy, the guy that wants to quit studying, is as capable as doing something as good as the guy that gets good grades. It's just a lack of perspective. Because in this system, this education system is only one perspective, studying, and you need to be good at it. If you don't like the system, or you're not able to adapt, you're out. And this is not how it's meant to be. Not in 2023, or not moving forward. And then, third topic. The road that never ends. And by the road that never ends, I mean it never ends. You start with primary education, you jump to secondary education. We then here have 2 years of bachelor pre-university. Then you have 4 years of university. And after that, you haven't ended yet. You need to do a master's. And yet it's not mandatory, it is mandatory. For working, it is mandatory. And when you finish the master's, you know what it's after. And you're encouraged to do, if you keep being the good grades guy, a PhD. Let's be a doctor in a subject. For how long? Until you are able to publish anything. 6 years? More? Who knows? Without working, just studying. And after getting that recognition, have you ended? No. People go for a second, you are forced to go for a second degree because you are updated. Second master's. And then you need to keep on track. So you need to publish, sign documents on any field. Because if not, you're a doctor without recognition. And that's a big thing. A real big thing. Okay, we're back. I needed to finish some things. But let's keep going where we were, which is this never-ending path of study. So what's the problem here? We're talking about, in my case, 22 years with only a 6-month break of waiting without studying. That's mean from the moment I entered the school at whatever age, I think it was 4. I haven't stopped for 21 years and a half, continuous periods. Think about it, 22, I'm gonna run it up, 22 years without non-stop studying. At some point, you start losing track. You start losing the end goal because it's an incredible amount of time. It's barely a fourth. No, it's barely, no, it will be almost a fourth of my entire lifetime. A fourth of my lifetime just studying. In my case, imagine if you don't have enough perseverance to achieve that long just working, that you need something practical, that you need to put things into a professional playground, that you want to know if all the effort you've been putting is worth something. Confidence drops. Motivation drops. Energy drops. Any attribute you think of. It may stop. Obviously, it's so long. Why do we force people to be on the education system for so much time? Yeah, it's not mandatory. Well, you see, this is not an answer. Because if not mandatory, then everyone will stop, but everyone is keep studying. Because if not, what's after? What's out there? On a country that asks you to have a degree, a minimum master's, some level of English, some level of another language, to start getting paid the bare minimum. With the highest amount of studies, with the best education, you need all of that. If not, you know your life is going to be a non-stop grind of working 8, 12, 10, 12 hours a day, non-stop. Why do we force people to do that? So here's my take. And it's nothing new. I haven't invented anything. I'm just making common sense thoughts. What if we promote a bit more professional education, where after 2 years, after the first year, they can have practical experience for those who don't want to jump into the university. And we stop, classifying them as the black sheeps. They were not meant to be on the good path. Let's get them on the same level. And what if, for those guys who want to get a step beyond and go to university, we allow them to not study for 4 years, maybe 3.5, but at the second year of their studies, you allow them, you're not allowing, you're forcing them to take professional experience, to work in any company, and you provide them with help, and then you guide them into the real world. So instead of having 22 years, it's only 18. Yeah, I know it's not much. It's something that takes time. But come on, at least facilitate it a bit. And we stop forcing people to have a master's after a degree. We make them go into the working environment, into companies, to decide if that's what they like or not. Because in my case, I'm lucky, super lucky. From day one, I knew this was my field of expertise where I want to grow. It hasn't been easy anyway, by any means, but at least I haven't changed. But imagine if I, at the middle of my degree, decided to change. Instead of 22, it's 26 years. And now what? And things can get worse so quickly that we don't even notice. This is my point. Facilitate things. Get those guys some learnings early on, get them some skills, pure skills that they will use for the rest of their life, and move from that point onwards. And don't force people, children and students, to be locked into a classroom until they can't anymore. Because the difference from studying to working, it's immense. And I realized that in only 3 months. So please have some common sense. And let's make this education system a bit more efficient, a bit more better, and having a bit more common sense on the actions that we take. And for those of you out there, stop thinking that if you're in science, you're incredibly good. If you're not, you have failed in life. And if you have dropped, you are even more of a failure. Neither the first one or the last one are different. You are just taking different paths that are equally viable. And you can get to the same place. Okay, this was my speech. Not prepared. I just wrote the topic and 3 things. This is one of the rules of speaking that I've learned. The rule of number 3. 3 topics, 3 key things to organize your speech. We don't have a summary or a thing you're following. I had 3 ideas and I developed those 3 ideas coherently enough with something I already knew. The rule of 3, which is a really powerful tool for any of you that are lost in organizing, structuring, or doing anything. Think about 3 main topics, put a headline, and in each one, 3 more things, 3 more things, 3 more things. Don't make it longer, don't make it more complicated. If you cannot explain something in 3 main core ideas, then you need to go again, review, and start from scratch. The rule of 3, and it applies to any skill, any area that you are in life. So I highly advise you to go on, search for the rule of 3, and use that on your next presentation or your next exam. In an exam question, 3 things. It will cover more than enough. 3 good things is enough. It's not quantity, it's quality. Remember that. Okay, moving. We've done my topic of this week because that's what I wanted to do on this episode. The topic. I think based on my experience of what I learned, I took the long path, but I've seen people take shorter path or failing before and being classified, which sucks. So any of you, I told you, don't feel ashamed of the path you're taking it. Just feel proud of it, and go with it on following a coherently enough route of actions will get you incredibly like super far in your life in any point. So, well, there is a couple more things that I want to carry out. They are mostly news or things I've seen completely off topic of the educational system, because I think with this one we covered quite good. Maybe someday we'll jump into more detailed things of my studies or things that are going into the system. I just want to have this rational thinking going on, put out there, because this is a topic I've talked to people that I've developed, and I wanted to have it on a video, on an audio. So anytime in the future I have kids, so I can actually reflect on what I said, on what was my ideas at this point, and see if things have changed or not. I just wanted this graphical or this tangible way of saving my thoughts or my ideas to go over. Okay, and next one is
When we think,
and you already start hearing to it. I'm gonna change the audio source, and I think next one is a video from a really powerful leadership figure that I happened to jump into LinkedIn through my contacts. And well, he mainly talks about leadership. I want to watch it, but I also want to reflect and make similarities, not on leadership, not on being a boss or whatever, but into our daily life in a more common sense approach, which is what I always like. Get the idea and bring it down to common ground where all we can use it in our daily lives. So if I do this, you should be watching it right next to me, and let's play it first.
when we think of character, I don't look at it as an ingredient that helps you to become a great leader, but it's essential to your leadership. In other words, if you are a leader, the core of your leadership should be character. It's out of that core that you make the decisions that you make. It's out of that core that keeps your motivations pure and keeps you from manipulating. Character, it's so essential to every person, whether they're a leader or not. What I share with people always is what I share with you today. Be better on the inside than you are on the outside. And if you do that, it's only a matter of time till you'll become better on the outside.
Powerful speech. I want to highlight a couple of sentences from, let me get you back into the screen. This guy is called John C. Maxwell. He's a leadership expert. He trained millions of leaders in the world. And there are a couple of sentences. First of all, well, he talks about character, okay? And he says it's essential to your leadership. Well, let's extrapolate it. Let's bring it down here. Let's extrapolate, let's make it more into our language of character and being essential, not to leadership, but I truly believe it's essential for personality or for defining who we are. Having character, it could be either getting angry or not at all angry. It could be anything, but you need to have a character. And you can create your own character and play a double life character. Like if any game it is, you put a costume over the virtual in your mind and you act on a way. And that will define who you are. If you are able to carry on with time. Character is, at the end, those values that we learn, that we adapted, that we truly believe on, and that we want to share with the world. So having character means accepting consequences, accepting who you are, and not being super dumb to actually confront anyone who doesn't have the same character as you, but being smart enough to adapt your character or to understand your character and other people's character. So character, back to sentence, is essential to your leadership. I would say character is essential to any humankind relation. Conversations need people to have character, because if not, who are we? Robots. You got it. We will be robots. We will have no soul. In a fully practical way, our character is our soul, and we need to put it out there. But souls can't live alone. Souls need another souls to cohabit, to live together. So let's get to the second sentence that I really loved. Okay. Character is essential to every person. True or not? It's completely true. You have it down there. Character is essential to every person. Of course, without character, I told you we will be robots. And then we got to be better on the inside than you are on the outside. Well, I want to frame it on the screen. Why is that? Well, in a way, I agree and kind of disagree to be better on the inside than you are on the outside. But this is a disagreement based on perspective. Depending on your situation in life, and depending on the moment you are living, you're better in the inside than on the outside. On a general rule, I agree with that. But to get to that point, you need to be better in the outside. You need to be a bit more selfish until you achieve a certain point of being. So having the character means understanding, but having that character means, it means understanding yourself. You need to sit down alone and reflect on how you are, how you act, how you talk, how you do things. And I do it often, not good enough. We are never fully aware of how our character is and how it may impact other people. But what we are aware of is our true beliefs and being true in a way to who we are and what our character is. So on difficult times, I wouldn't take this quote as something to move forward. It doesn't mean to have bad moment, personal, working life, doesn't matter. But when you need to focus on yourself, be better outside and be neutral. Don't be rude to people or disrespectful. Be neutral on the inside. Be cold if you need to. But when you focus your inner peace, 100%, give more than what you receive. Always. Because it's what will define you and what people will remember you for. Being a better person. Having your character, being firm the way you are, but not being disrespectful, not being rude, or those kind of attributes to others. And lastly, I think this guy do a really smart talk, a really smart conversation. Character is so essential to every person. I couldn't agree more. Have a character. I tend to be a bit ironic in situations. I try to make humor of everything. I always have those funny, dark jokes, those that get people in a position that they don't know. And I also try to not care much about others and only about me. This is intrinsic to who I am, of how I've been treated and how I've grown. This is a more personal psychological way that I'm not even able to enter to fully understand. But I think some of the fun things, cool things of life is characters, is observing people who true character is observing people if they have two identities, they have a second character, if they can role play. I think that's really funny, seeing the true character of a person, how they motivate themselves, how they progress in life, all those kind of things that go related to character. I think that's pure beauty, and that I couldn't agree more with things that John C. Maxwell said. Others, I think, is based on perspective, and we cannot be always like that. We cannot always be better on the outside than better on the outside than in the inside, and that our character is gonna make us better. But I truly believe we need to understand what character is. We need to understand our characters first to next put it in perspective. And what I'm always saying, using your common sense and not judging at first. So yeah, this is a bit more also deep topics of what character is, who we are, etc., etc., etc. And what I'm also having for today's prepare is based on Shakira and Piqué. Okay, Shakira and Piqué, the non-stopping or more talk topic in the last week due to his collaboration with Bizarrap. For the non-Spanish speakers, you wouldn't even understand or know what I'm saying. In the Latino countries, it's been a super topic non-stop. But I'm not interested in the topic itself. I'm interested on how much money have Shakira make. So I have some data in a screen that I'm trying to adjust. Let's see if I'm able to, because this is way bigger and like I need to crop things, and I'm not 600, no, 500. I'm trying to adjust things, my bad. But yeah, and then top is 100 and lower is 200, whatever. I think this will work. Now we have it not like this. I want it a bit more like this. Okay, now we have it up here. Up here. Of course, this is on Spanish because it's been a Spanish topic. But let's go through it. How much money has it generated? And this doesn't mean by Shakira and Piqué or the two figures that go. These go by the economy. Like how much money can those things generate? I don't care the topic. I don't care what happened. I'm just looking at the profitability of something like this. So if we go over, and now this has changed again. Let me reframe it. So this is 800. And I'm never gonna get it right at the first try. This 400, and then this goes 200. Yeah. So let's start by some things. The first one is the song. The song that this artist made has 78 million views in 24 hours, YouTube and Spotify. Imagine how many impacts has it generated. That single video, that single song has a lot of incomes by itself. Okay. Second of all, she has used this to create a business model, which is she found out through her first song that this has impact in the market, impact in the segment. She found a lead, she found a niche where she could exploit a business. I'm not talking about whatever you do is different. I'm just talking about the intelligence of how businesses or what opportunities look like. She found it. First song, 5 million views. Well, for a old singer like Shakira, who has been out there a lot, this means a bump on impacts. All of a sudden, she knows she's on track. People are going to be aware of what she's doing. So what does she need to do? She needs to either forget about it and lose a super good opportunity, or she could keep going. Second song, 24 million views. How much is it? 5 times? 6 times? 5 times. The first one, 24 hours. Quite a lot. She knows people are just talking about her. What does she do? Collaboration, one of the biggest things. Super high, super well-known artist doing a lot of collaboration. Let's do one and let's go and push it to the end. We could judge if this is ethical or not. I don't care. Her movement was so smart that she almost tripled, getting to incredibly high numbers. Just her. She saw an opportunity and she fulfilled her path. From now on, she could be doing more or not. If she keep going, probably things don't go as well as have gone. Why? You remember that rule of 3? 3 things for one category, 3 songs for one category. The rule of 3 is magical, and things tend to align to the rule of 3, let me tell you. So, well, these are just numbers of how these things have escalated. $30 million, quite a lot of money. She's earning per minute a ridiculous amount of money. She's generating money passively on things she's already done, because now that Shakira is on trend, people are just not gonna hear to the 3 songs she's put in the past few months. They're gonna hear to everything. Some radios are gonna ask for her songs. Her songs are gonna be asked to be put in commercials. She's gonna generate money passively once again. So this is one of the other things of businesses, is passive income. If you have done something in the past and you can use that effort into generating more money or improving your business, please do it. And these are just some numbers of how many cars like Twingos, which is a model you bought, and then how many Casios from data intelligence, who is, well, amazing. And well, if this says that if its visualization was a person, the Azteca Stadium have been filled 850 times in a single day. So indeed, that's a lot of repercussion. But this is the beauty of this that I'm doing right now, which is online, on like digital in general. Skin is not the only one. Brands that got memes out of on internet generate impacts. People work on this due to Shakira being acknowledged. Other companies, people, jobs, everything get benefits from it. It is ethical or not. But on a world where impact, sales, and money is based on, which is capitalism, this is beneficial for everyone. You can do a better job or a non as good job, but at the end, this benefits everyone. And those are the opportunities that we need to jump on. So yeah, this is like the end summary of Shakira, how much has she generated, etc., etc., etc. That I wanted to, I'm gonna take this out, I want to bring today into the table of generation in general. And I think it's a really good news. I really found it to be interesting. I found others of jobs and things, but I think those are more boring. But this one of generating money is insanely valuable. And this is not something that comes out of nowhere. Shakira has been grinding for 40 years, 30, so I don't know how many years, for a long time. This is not some kind of luck. There are decisions taken over the several years that has brought her to this moment. So this is where I said on the last speech, in the last conversation we had about skills, about learning and failing. Is the sum of everything you do what really matters, not a hit of success or a hit of luck. Success comes with effort of skills. She has perfection their style, she has worked on singing, she has worked on lyrics. From time to time, she's been on the public eye from time to time to time. And with years and years and years, she has generated a huge moment for her own that most probably will save and will secure her financial position and her life, at least economically, for the following years. And she's going to be, again, doing what she wants and she loves, which is singing and being an artist, which at the end, that's Shakira's main job. And with this, we covered both news that I wanted to bring myself today. Since we are not gonna do weekly recap this week, because I need still to read it down. I haven't had time to get myself into the diary, and I'm gonna do it with you today. I'd really encourage you to do writing every week. I'm doing it right now because why not working on it together on my weekly, since I cannot do it because I haven't got to the end of the week. I'm still on Friday, and I have to catch up with the last 5 days. We're gonna go through two things that I've done. I started reading The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. I'm really liking the book. There is a couple of quotes that I will be bringing by next week. A couple of things that I will reflect on, that I will do some research. And then the other thing I've also done is I've started the Last of Us HBO series based on the video game. I haven't played the video game, but the film is main actors is, who is this guy? I think he's a Latin guy, but it's the actor who do Mandalorian on Disney. His name is blah 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 Pedro Pascal. And so far, the first episode has gave me good feelings. I saw Uncharted film, which was okay, nothing special. But this film situation, how they're narrating the story and settling you in this post-apocalyptic world, is really setting the vibe and the mood. So I'm really excited for next week episode. They're releasing once each week. I think I'm gonna bring it today. I keep bringing it to the podcast to keep doing and discussing and talking about it. And we are gonna leave it here. I bring the episodes or my talks to what I feel like. I feel like this is good enough. Stretching it more would be a waste of your time, my time, and we wouldn't be getting anything out of it. So, to whom it may concern, I hope no one has listened to it. No one will, but if you had, the exit is right there. And please tell me anything you want to see if that's the case. If not, it's been a pleasure, and I'll see you around.